So we're going to be exploring meditation from the viewpoint of it being a practice of receiving. And there's a certain relief already that comes when we think about meditation as receiving rather than as an activity that we have to do, or, another way of improving ourselves or fixing ourselves or healing ourselves in some way that requires our energy. So we're going to be working with transmissions of light in terms of the rays, the colours, flame and light, and with our own present soul and essence, which together you could call emanations of light. So the practices of receiving light require more than the application of the protocol. Even though we're using an attunement process, it's not really a mechanical thing. It's a vibrational, love-based deepening process and coherence process. So the efficacy of the meditations with light rely upon the cultivation of a receptive and responsive inner state. Without that receptive and responsive inner state, the light bounces off us. It doesn't really come in. And we also will receive less because we can't absorb much light. Our supraconscious intelligence only sends us a small amount of light. So the more receptive and responsive we can be, the more ready we are, the more we can receive in terms of the volume of light that we receive and in terms of how we integrate and absorb that light. Whoops, go back. Having technical issues this time. Go back here. So we focus in a way that enhances or cultivates or brings us into resonance with certain atmospheres of being. We set our whole meditation space through this turning of attention with intention towards the atmospheres and attitudes of the world of the real. And so in the simplest way of looking at this, when we're kind to ourselves, when we have an attitude of self-acceptance, when we soften and when we lean in and we listen deeply, we naturally come into coherence. In that space, we become innocently open to receive. And in that receiving, we feel held and we become open to releasing. So our in-breath and our out-breath flow freely, and our field is soft and it's receptive and it's fluid and available for transformation and available to receive regenerative qualities of light, because this kind of meditation can be transformative. It can stir things up and transfigure them, and it can also simply nourish us, regenerate us, fill us up with the strength and the feeling of wholeness that we need. Part of the practice is with breath awareness and breath regulation, so that we learn how to connect to light and to circulate light, to receive light as an emanation, to receive it as a circulation. And we also learn how to place attention in our interior space so that we can relate to our space holistically, that is, as a totality, as a field, to the space above us, below us, in front of us, behind us, and within us. And we have agency and freedom of awareness in all those places. And we can also place attention specifically in areas of our body or field that need healing, or that need transformation, or that need nourishment. So there is an immense feeling of agency, of autonomy, and of sovereignty in the practice. So we're kind of gaining ground here. We're learning about all the rooms in our house and how to enter those rooms and to bring about the atmospheres of goodness, beauty, and truth in those rooms again, no matter what condition we find them in. So attitude, intention, leaning into atmospheres, softening, inner listening, imbue our breathing energetically. We're not just breathing air, we're breathing love light awareness, we're breathing supraconsciousness, we're breathing ourselves back into coherence with the light that we are, with the deepest levels of our being. And we're connecting those deepest levels of our being with our human personality, with our chakras, with what is in our chakras, and with our spinal column and our central nervous system. We're connecting those deeper levels of consciousness with our emotional body, physical body, mental body. And we're harmonizing the deep dimensions and the sense of personal self we experience in our daily lives. So you can see that this is a really profound process. This is not something that you master in a week of meditation. It's something really that you open into, that you deepen into. It's a process that has a kind of life of its own as you invite it to unfold inside you. And that invitation, that intention is vital. If we don't invite the next stage of awareness, if we don't invite coherence, what happens is we just live in whatever our native resting state is, whatever that is, with all the habits and magnetic patterns and tendencies and ways of perceiving things that we already have. And we don't get that growth, that awakening. And we certainly don't get it in an abiding way. So we might be gifted through grace certain experiences of opening and receiving and awakening. But it's our job to bring our mind-body field into a more abiding and permanent resonance with those states that are the world of the real. So we'll be talking more about the difference between the world of the real and the world of the original contraction or the original wound after Christmas. And the reason why we need to consciously intend our awakening will become more and more apparent. So when we're meditating, we're using vertical attunement and horizontal flow. So you might imagine, looking at this diagram, just very simply, that when we tune upwards into the heart of the light, and we call for that light and we call for that help, we receive it pouring down like a waterfall. When we tune downwards along the column of light and we ask for help, we ask for light, we receive upwards like a fountain. That fountain or waterfall then radiates through us in a horizontal manner. It starts to flow outwards and along our nadis and into our chakras and through the different dimensions of our mind-body field. We can also turn within, go deep within the heart and access emanation from deep within us. The challenge for most people is that there are a lot of layers of density in the field that you have to drop through to get in contact with that emanation. If your field's really clear, really transparent, already resonant, then it's easy to just turn within and with the lightest of touches start to feel and receive this emanation welling up from within you as though it's coming from everywhere at once, as though all your cells are lighting up, as though the star is expanding in the center of you and it's everywhere at once in its emanation. Ramana Maharshi talked about this. He said, the heart is in the chest, but the heart really is everywhere. And the reason for that is that the level on which the star exists is infinite, it's vast, and our body is small. The illusion is that our body feels big and the light in the center of our chest feels small, when the reverse is true. The light in the center of your being is like the light of 1,000 suns. And when you ask it to amplify, it very carefully, gently amplifies itself to fill you in the way that is best for you. It doesn't turn on the light 100%. If the light was turned on 100%, we would cease to exist. As ourselves, as humans, we would cease to exist. So what it does is it turns the light on slowly. It's like a sort of, a dimmer switch on a light. It turns it up slowly so that we retain a sense of individuality. We have thoughts, we have feelings, we have a body, we have sensations. We move in a world that is a world that appears as people, places, events, and things. And yet, more and more, this world appears filled with the light and quality of the heart of the star. So it's both a luminosity, a radiance, if you like, and it's also a quality of consciousness. It's a blend of many qualities of consciousness, all appearing as a single consciousness. So all the different kinds of love you've ever experienced are all existing in harmony together. And when you experience the heart of your star, you're getting the synergistic blend of all of that love and the consciousness that is at the heart of it. It's really quite incredible. And we can only take small doses of it. And because its vibration is so different from the normal vibration of our energy field, our thoughts, feelings, and sensations, we can either have a bit of difficulty finding it in the beginning, finding that light, or we get quite shaken up by interacting with that light. That interface can feel challenging to us. It can kind of turn our world upside down and we don't know what to think or feel anymore, or we don't even remember what day it is or what time it is. So for many people, just to in general terms approach this in a practical way, tuning up and calling on light from above for most people is the easiest way to begin. That way we receive beautiful transmissions of light that help to render our mind-body field more transparent to our core light. And it happens gently over time. We can also tune downwards, though we may find that's a bit more dense, a bit more difficult to do. It depends on the person. For some people, that's easier. We can learn to tune downwards, call on that light, and again, receive it coming up like a fountain, which affects the lower levels of our field more precisely. The light coming down like a waterfall tends to have a more profound effect on the upper dimensions of the field. And when we tune downwards, the light comes into the etheric body and into the primal emotional body and into the mid-emotional body. So we're going to be experiencing increasing spaciousness and depth in our meditations, decreasing density, increasing spaciousness, edgeless awareness, deep immersion, profound peace, stillness, and silence. And so the light transmission meditations that we're looking at in this unit and across the next few weeks are the I Am Presence meditation, self-healing ray meditations, and Heart of the Paramatmic Star meditation. So with the I Am Presence meditation, it uses wording that corresponds closely to the meditation that was given to my teacher Ananda Tarashan by the Ascended Master Dwal Kul, also known as DK, who worked with Alice Bailey. The wording of the meditation can be altered so that, for example, you might not like the words I am present. You might just want to call it the presence, or you might want to call it the heart of your star or the heart of your being. That's perfectly fine. The format of the meditation that we'll be doing today will use the I am presence terminology because I'd like to go right back to the root of the meditation. However, you can adapt it in whatever way you like when you're doing meditations personally.